but I disagree with him. There is always a way for improvement. As leaders, we can always make mistakes or be in a position not to deliver one thing or the other. We have tried to offer you a lot of things with the circulars that were issued. And we thought you can use that at least to see how you can manage your strike. But you have not been able to do so, or maybe because what you are very particular about has not been addressed. I agree with that, but I also know that you people are also aware of the consequences of this indefinite strike. Be able to have some kind of review of your position and see how we can work out an alternative solution to this problem. So my reason for calling this meeting is to see how we can go around what is in our hands, and make some suggestions as to how we can move forward to resolve the issue in the light of the decision we have already taken on this matter. It's just 6 months. Before we know it is already 6 months, in a couple of weeks. And but they have said a lot, and I don't know. Maybe I will allow the other members to talk on this issue because of the permission of Mr. President. because they have already said their mind, and their presentation was not. Maybe they're expressing fears, maybe some of you. Okay, you want to tell them what we discussed? Huh? Don't forget, I always rely on you to give us a direction as an elder. So don't misdirect us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I want to thank you, Honorable Minister, that you have invited us yet again. Suggests that diesel development matters to you one way or the other. But let me, so that we do not waste too much time. I think this is a very simple, straightforward matter. When you are in a representative capacity, your personal disposition or position definitely not supersede that of those who represent. Several weeks ago, we have made it very clear. When I say we, that the Joint Secretary made it very clear. And that was why, unlike most other times when you come with a plethora of demands, we didn't do any something. We came up with just one universal demand, a flagship demand. And like we have said, it's exactly 30 days less 12 years. And this demand has been on the table. And it's clear that government, of course, all of this rigmarole is orchestrated, it's consummated by the Federal Ministry of Health. And it is very clear that government government, when I say government, and the other MPs in government have certainly not been able to impress on the federal minister to do that which is right in this. So we won't be able to say anything. I think the proper thing to do at this juncture will be to get back to those who represent and present to them that well, there is nothing significantly different from what the experience was at the last time. There's nothing new. The only mandate we have is to ensure that government releases corners adjustment tables and pay whatever those tables must be paid to amendments. But finally, Honorable Minister, I say this as a Nigerian, it concerns Nigeria, that what is playing out in this scenario is one of the most dangerous things in the history of India. Not just in Nigeria, but anywhere in the world. It is a sad testimony that, because everybody here, most of us here are parents, we have children. The faith that I profess says there is no father whose children asks for food will give one bread and give the other one scorpions. But what is playing out here, what has played out in all of this is that government, and this is now getting beyond the federal ministry of finance.
Beyond.
This is getting beyond the federal ministry of finance. This is now emblematic of the federal government of Nigeria. You have in the same sector people making demands. I remember your last press statement on that strike where you said you had met, I think, 19 out of 23 demands. I think on that occasion you had indicated that now you should go back to work because federal government had made 19 out of 23, 19 out of 23 demands, something like that. You had made some of those demands at that point. So that's the object. And then you tell the other one that, although we can't meet it, in your own situation, one has prevailed that has lasted for 12 years, you want us to wait for another 6 months. We will tell our masters, the people who have sent us, but we put on record, I'll be very responsible, that government has continued to show us gross insensitivity. It's meted out injustice beyond any known frontier. And it shows government has no respect at all for this.
Point of order.
Yes, I will wind up by saying we need this.
But
I will
when
get
I
back.
raise the point of order,
Yes.
You are supposed to allow me to. Huh? Yeah.
Finish.
Okay. Oh, you are finished?
Yes.
Okay. I was raising a point of order just to tell you that some of the things you are saying are not altogether correct. I have called you to see how we can move around this issue. Not just for me to come and see your faces and ask you to go back to your leaders. No, it's far from that. I've called us to discuss this issue and see whether you have some other proposals to give us that will make us move forward. Apart from the implementation of the complex. I know that is your principal, your central issue. But we are not saying no to commerce. And the only thing we are saying, let us do a job evaluation and see how it will favor you to get to the implementation of what you are looking for. You can get better than what you are looking for. Or you can get something in the middle. But the safest way to do this is through this process. And this will take just about 6 months. And I'm saying between now to those 6 months, what can we do? I don't believe you should say that there's nothing you want apart from government.
Some agencies, we have no quarrel with them. One, we have no quarrel whatsoever with Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. I want that to be on record.
When you're on strike, you say you have no color.
We have no quarrel.
I don't think so.
No, I'm telling you the facts.
Yeah, I know, but we are concerned.
Then two, we have no quarrel with salaries and wages. Sir, we appreciate you government talking about job evaluation. But when Commerce was adjusted in 2014, was there any job evaluation before it was done? Like what elders said, any father that has 4, 3, 4, 5 children and is being preferential to one, he doesn't like the children, that one child, because the others will gang up and kill that child. Yes, literally.
Is it as bad as that?
It's worse than that. So sir, like what elder had said, we've heard you. We are sympathetic with your office, because we know if it is something that you can do with fiat, or something that salaries and wages can do with fiat, they will do it. But we know where our problem is. It is Federal Ministry of Physicians, and we are ready for them. Thank you, sir.
You are giving it another name. I think many of you people are getting this wrong. I know most of the time I try to work with you. We give you this Ministry of Labor and Employment as your ministry. But don't forget, we also have a responsibility to liaise with your employer and other relevant agencies that have to do with this issue. So I know what everybody is thinking about, and I know everybody's position. But all the same, I decided to call you. And if all of them have said no, don't call them, I wouldn't have called you. But I'm doing this with the consent of all the other stakeholders on this matter, so that we see how we can move forward. Everybody is concerned. Nobody is interested in seeing you going on strike indefinitely like this. And we just thought, as parents, as colleagues, we should work together to see how we can narrow our differences and come up with a few things that can help us to talk to your masters and call them. But we take you to be at our masters. And no, leadership. It's not a small thing. You are the leaders of this association. So you should own it. You should own it. If you tell me there's nothing you can do, I don't think I will believe you. As leaders, God has given you all the wisdom, all the strength to go around these issues and see how we can settle down, at least for this 6 months. You can always go back on strike. But I'm just talking about what can we be able to think of and suggest that will make us call for this strike, and at least as a kind of temporary measure between now to the next 6 months. If you are not satisfied with what you have done, you will be going back on strike. I It's not about you have all the right to go on strike. It's a right. And you are entitled to it. That is our belief in this ministry. You cannot deny you that opportunity that the laws of this country and the international standards are giving you. But we should do it with a lot of caution, with a lot of skills to ensure that we don't just do it for the sake of doing it. If there's any way we can avoid it, we should look around it and see how we can try to avoid it. Pity your position, you are the leaders, and usually in this kind of situation, the followers don't listen to you. They expect 100% success in these matters. But then, you also have a responsibility to lead in such a way that you leave some legacies, you leave some records of no strikes, so that you can count your tenure is a very smooth one. And by the time you start counting the number of months, days that you went on strike, it's not a good one, even though it is right. It doesn't count positive. So that is why I'm saying we can always meet and review our positions and see how we can move on. I wanted our representative to be more than this. But I wouldn't want to block you from going back to your people, or even going back outside there among yourselves and think about it and see how we can. I hope he has given an elderly suggestion how to go, but he is too strict on this matter. I don't know.
Mr. Minister, sir.
Yes,
Mr. Minister.
Elder.
He's an elder statesman.
He's an elder statesman. Okay. Not an elder statesman.
Minister, sir.
Yes. Okay.
It's on the way forward.
Okay.
Actually, our position has been set in this circumstance because the demand has declared request. Because as the last speaker spoke, this issue began 2014, and the application for points adjustment began immediately 2014. So we saw a circular that is demanding for status quo. So we are wondering, I want to suggest, as we forward, one of the two. Commerce structure should return back to where it is by 2014, that should be status quo. Or our structure should be adjusted to be at par with commerce now. That's the other status quo. Then all of us should maintain it until after 6 months. Whatever the evaluation revealed, everybody should take it the way it is. That's what we're asking. So now, to how we can use this one to convince our senders, give us the structures, certain structures that are adjusted, circular. It become our property. However, after evaluations, whatever it outcomes, all of us will surrender to take it, since it's an independent body that's going to hold it. But without the circulars, which we know that we have suffered 12 years ago, other people have enjoyed that adjustment without any evaluations. And it is what we are getting 12 years ago. We are not calling it status quo that should be maintained after 6 months. As we said, we agree 6 months just, if you compare 6 months with 12 years, definitely small period. Every reasonable person understands here. But the issue before us is correct adjustment, and the status quo, to our own understanding, will be either this one or this way. So that we should be at bar and we are waiting for the outcome of the evaluation. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Mr. Sir,
I've never spoken in any of your meetings. I've attended like 8 meetings with you because I'm a small boy and I'm learning a lot. Why is government, this question is not directed at you, sir. Why is government doing the same thing every time and looking for a different outcome? What the government is doing right now has been done before. No, it didn't solve this problem. How do we solve the problem? Is by solving the problem. Like they said, we will go back to our principals. We didn't elect ourselves, we didn't send ourselves there. They are all aware we are having a meeting, they are waiting to get the outcome. So the outcome we got is this, but these are our own suggestions to the Honorable Minister. Let me tell you, sir, we have very much high regard for this office. Your personality, just like a father. Anytime we come here, we keep smiling. Even though we are not happy what you are saying, but we are smiling with you. Because you are always a father. I will drop the microphone by telling you a story. I'm just coming from Umuahia. I've been in Umuahia for some days. There is this family, sir, the family of 4 children and the father and the mother.
The same story you gave us.
Okay. Now, the 4 children ate poison suya and the 4 children died. Okay. Now they are very old, they can't give child, they had to do IVF and they had twins. Because of this strike. That's one of the twins.
We don't want any casualty, please.
So, is the government really concerned about Nigerians? How Nigerians feel? Do they really care about how Nigerians feel? Sir, I'm an FHI chairman. I have 35,000 members as superintendent. They have family, they have children. They have been clamoring for one thing for 12 years. It's not like, if you people cannot give us this in another ministry of health, take us another ministry and give it yours.
Yes, ma'am.
And let all this stop.
Ministry of Decisions.
Honorable Minister,
You want to come back again?
I want to thank you, sir, on behalf of this delegation.
No, not now, until you say something. You cannot thank me now. Yeah, I have done nothing.
We should thank you, sir.
Huh?
Because like speaker after speaker said, there is a way you communicate information that is not pleasurable and people don't get offended. And I guess that's one of the things I have learned from you, sir, in particular. I think we have dealt with ministers way back from about that end on to here. And this, you are one person does this bring this stress to us. Before we go, sir, I need to say this. It is apparent that people in government in high places are scared of physicians. And that's why people have formed the habit of not being able to confront them and tell them the truth. Yes, there is animal farm. There's always animal farm. There, some animals are apparently have to need more information. But the events that might follow from this, so that because some of us are looking at it, that these matters should be handled through other ways, which will be decided by our neck. It is apparent that we need to solve this problem once and for all. As citizens of this country, we need to put a stop to this unending discrimination. There is this government runs under the ambit of the 1999 Constitution. There is a section 42A and B that prohibits discrimination to citizens of the Federal Republic.
Thank you very much.
What we have seen recurrently and very much It's discrimination after discrimination, sir.
Constitutional breach.
Yes, sir. The federal government has continued to be the biggest breaker of the law. If President Tinubu, with due respect to him, were in audience, I would say this. You see, it's always difficult when you say, oh, 6 months is there. Ordinarily, everybody would look at it that we made the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He gave assurances on June 5, 2023, this matter will be resolved. We went back. We went back to these people to say, oh, this matter will be resolved. After all, there's no other place, the Supreme Court, or the prayer of the Supreme Court, the executive arm, we have met, he assured. So what else do you want? It fails. Only a few weeks ago, to tell you that we understand the shenanigan calculation of the two physician ministers in the Federal Ministry of Health. We had gotten to a point, just a few days ago, we spoke to the finance minister of this country and got assurance that we please make sure your people don't go on this strike. That he had consulted with salaries and wages, he had consulted with budget office, and he has discovered that for real, JOHESU was being owed 49.77 billion. He approximated it himself to 50 billion. And the challenge is we can't pay 50 billion dollars. But even if it is 20 billion, let us pay. Give us 1 week more, these open weeks. And I remember, I spoke on that occasion. I told him, I said, well, you speak very well, sir. But we have had numerous experiences with government. Today, I thank the God that I serve that I did not attempt to convince those members of that occasion. The government said, oh, go, just give them what we can this matter. These policy somersaults have been obtained. We have a fair idea of the things, how the Federal Ministry of Health brought this government organization to begin appears. And I say, one of the things that saddens me about this current administration is that from the very beginning, President Tinubu set out to fail the health sector. If they send me he set out to fail.
Because of the doctors,
Oh,
the physicians that are
Oh,
there.
yes, because from the very beginning, on June 5, that was just about 7 days into his administration. JOHESU had audience with the president. And I spoke with the president.
You see.
Let me say, sir. Let me say.
I know what they are going to say.
Yes, sir.
I know what they are going to say because
For us not, because we knew we had passed through this route. Which we don't.
You see, as long as those physicians are there,
Yes.
it will not work well for you. That is your feeling.
You know, it's not to feel.
And
It is a reality, sir.
Tomorrow,
I told the president that
when
even
you have your
though-
brother there, your colleague in the JOHESU sector, when one of them is there,
Yes.
you will be the happiest person. And the doctor will be the most.
I am not a sentimental person, sir.
No, you are, because
let me
one
tell
of
you why,
yours
sir.
is not there now,
Let me give
and
you a
you want one
scenario.
of yours to be there.
In this
You see, we discussed this with
problem,
them. Ask them, we discussed all these issues in my office now.
you know, we gave a scenario. Sir.
Huh?
We gave a
I know
scenario.
the scenario.
All over Santos,
What's the scenario, but
which is the golden right
now we
healthcare.
cannot have 3 ministers there.
No, it's not even about 3 ministers. I'm giving you practical realities. I'm saying this because anybody here tomorrow can be the president of Nigeria. No,
You know, the problem with you people is that
you can't solve this problem.
you can't solve it because each
For
time you
as
have a
long
minister
as-
there,
yes, sir.
there will be a problem.
We had the entire
The
land.
only way we solve it is to have maybe 3 ministers or 4 ministers.
Sir, that's why I'm giving you an example. If you will listen. In 7.5 years
They gave the
of
same
President
example.
Obasanjo,
Mm.
physicians were minister. The physician was minister for only 6 weeks in Menepre from Anambra State. He changed him after 6 months. Put APC in also 3.5 days. There was no problem in the answer. He brought Eyitayo Lambo, an economist. is an economist. That one is packaged. He's basically an economist. He has a PhD in economics. And he's the best minister Nigeria, health minister Nigeria has seen. No strike. There was no strike. Developed relationship and all the milestones. You are consolidating there.
It is always better like that. I agree with you. Once you have somebody who is outside that sector,
that is why
that will be peace.
That is why we will help government. So
it is not for me or for you to decide this.
I agree.
It is for the president.
We will. That's why we say that. I think we should, so that we can make some progress. We need to go and set up a meeting and brief our members. We really thank you, sir, for.
But what do you have to brief them?
What has transpired? Everything has transpired, yes.
What has transpired?
What has transpired? Their demand of 12 years. The government says the job is subjected to job evaluation, so they should wait for another 6 months. We have a responsibility to tell them because that's exactly what has happened. So once you report back, you invite.
Is that what you are going to report back to them?
What else do you report?
It's not a balanced report.
You can fill in the gap for us. There's a lot of people.
I didn't call you to give you this position. What I called you, I told you.
No, we will tell them all their things to do it.
No, I was not taking any action. I was not taking. I'm just trying to share some opinion and some ideas how we can move forward, how we can walk around.
We will also throw it to them.
There are always,
we will also throw it to them and explain.
I don't think so. I will not be there.
No, we will. Trust us and we will.
But we didn't discuss it. We didn't discuss it.
The NEC is a group of almost 200 people. So the numbers are more than this.
And that is why we need to properly brief them.
No, we properly.
No, but we have not discussed my own position. We have not discussed it with you. So what are you going to discuss if we have not discussed it?
What's the position? Okay, we will listen to your position. I was just thinking so that we just. Some of us even need to travel. Some of us need to travel and all that. And that's why I say.
But I gave you the opportunity to choose a date that I'll meet with you, and you gave me this date.
Yes, what next? You know, if everything had just walked the way we had anticipated, even if there's a need to stay for 1 week in Abuja, there will be no problem. But there's no basis. Because once things are playing out this way, we need to begin to strategize. We need to, just like you said, sir, we have to articulate a way forward.
Yeah.
So that we can come to the end of these numbers. And for us, that's a major priority.
I know, I said it before I started talking about it. I said it.
I just want to, the honorable minister, I think just like I emphasized during different I just want to say that based on international labor standards, the issue of salary and wages are issues that are defined and they have their indices. What we are demanding for is different from job evaluating to get value. So, job evaluation is allowances. We're talking of basic salary adjustment. That's a collective bargaining agreement which align with Convention 98 of the ILO, which is Convention on Collective Bargaining, have been violated in 2014. And we have been calling for redress of such acts that was committed without recourse, to the provisions of the international labour standard and the labour laws of the land. That is what we are just saying. It has no connection with job evaluation.
Because all the job evaluation report we have seen, what is emphasized there is allowances, which we have, when we started this committee on collective bargaining, we have presented even to salaries and wages. We gave a copy to Ministry of Health about the 2008 job evaluation, and all of this has its analysis. So what we are saying is, because we are having ongoing CBA, it's as if there is a kind of a policy somersault in this process. It's as if we are confusing ourselves in this process. An expert was brought, a person of Professor Dafio Togo, who understands the nitty-gritty of industrial relation. He gave an advice. I think these are things that should help us moving forward, not a backdoor manipulation of the reality that we have to face. And that is why we are here, because at times it will seem as if we are making progress. When we meet again, we take some step backward. It's not helping us. And that is why, we are more confused every day than ever. Because this thing is clearly stated. In fact, on this table, in 2021, when the former minister told the two ministers of health, the Hadley and that please go and negotiate this thing with your people. That was what led to the high-level body committee chaired by the chairman of the salaries and wages. And a document has been produced since 2022 and submitted to the budget office of the federation when Akaboize was the DG. They received this document, and it has since been there, awaiting the presidential committee on salaries approval, and then we are calling for the circular and the table to implement this recommendation. And the Minister of Finance have full understanding of what we are talking about, already, make a financial analysis of how to pay this money. Then we are brought back again to start discussing job evaluation. Who were the one that first suggested job evaluation when we started this CBA? That to get a real value for allowances.
The Minister of Finance chaired that meeting. I was there. My director was there. Presidential Salaries Wages Committee. We had it.
Yes, so what was the outcomes?
So I just decided to intervene because you are saying the Minister of Finance has full understanding of what this is all about, and that he's even calculated and committed himself to pay you so amount. It was the same chairman, the same Minister of Finance who chaired our meeting, and it was under his guidance that we agreed on this policy. But if you are saying that this position, maybe we can find a way of reviewing it. As a minister, I can take this up again.
Yes.
And see how we can.
You don't have the capacity to resolve this issue.
What are you saying?
Yes, and what? Under control, we were getting very good.
No, but you see, when I am also giving you an offer, you also try to give me your own. I shouldn't be just be doing the work myself. You have to come in and also support us and help us on the way out. This thing has been there since 2021, you said, in budget office. It is only now that I have been able to push for this meeting. My reaction when I saw the agenda, I stood up and said, no, we are not just here for this. We are here to discuss this issue of JOHESU. I didn't know that they put it at the back of the page of the main agenda. I said it should be brought here. I brought it back to item number 6. And we were discussing it. So we are very serious on these issues.
We've said it. We have no problem with the Ministry of Labour, particularly you. We know where our problem is. I really think honorable. When they said
You see,
you need to by law. The only way you can help by law. The only way. President Bola Tinubu needs to do
of this kind of politics. there will be better peace. And you people, I don't think you can.
You know, sir, it is, that's why I said government, many times government fails to do government. The people who epitomize government, they fail to do government. The health sector is not the only multidisciplinary sector in this country. You have the works and housing sector. Works and housing is a perfect example of what you have in the health sector.
No, it's not.
Let me give you the analysis.
I was a minister of us. I worked as
Because they don't allow this tension. Because in the works and housing sector, you have architects, engineers, surveyors, you have estate managers, town planners. Now, you will never see anybody telling them that it's permanent leader or chairman. So it is government that has encouraged this mentality.
But they have been working smoothly.
Yes,
They have
exactly
been
what I'm
working
saying,
together.
because
And you have never had this kind of politics that is
that's
happening
what
in
I'm
health.
saying, sir. Because government has
Architects,
not,
engineers,
architects who
surveyors.
7 years don't come around.
So
to
the
tell
each
them
one
that-
has its own association. And these associations are working together in Ministry of Works. And
It
they
is
are,
only what you see in the health sector. It happens only because government has promoted an entitlement mentality.
no, even,
Let me give you this
you
statistics.
see, I disagree with
Federal
you.
executive council,
Even-
7 physician ministers
Huh?
in the multidisciplinary sector.
Mhm.
7 physician ministers are on fake. All the appointments in the MDs in this administration, apart from DPR, they have all gone to physicians. From National Health Insurance, Primary Health Care, NACA, that's the National Agency for AIDS, HIV and AIDS, and NCDC, all the 73 federal health institutions. You have, as a matter of law, that will be tried. There are many things that will happen, like a special grace of God. You will make the leadership of hospitals birthright. You are a health administrator, sir. It wasn't the birthright of doctors to head hospitals when I graduated from university. What we had in hospitals at that time were hospital governors. In places like UC. Yes, sir. UC Ibadan.
Throughout history,
Yes, sir.
doctors
So,
have been
and modern day healthcare, go and find out what goes on in the US and all of these places that we copy. Doctors don't head hospitals in the US. Administrators head. The administrator can be a nurse, can be a lab scientist, provided you have gone through a course of training as health administrator. But in Nigeria, of course, you will misbehave. You incentivize doctors to misbehave and malfunction. Because you are telling them, you are telling them you are in charge of everything. President Tinubu in particular. And I have said this before, I will continue to say this. That's why I said before, I know these things are difficult in that part of the world. But somebody has to say it. President Tinubu consolidated all the aberrations of previous administrations. He not only put 2 physician ministers in charge of that ministry. For the first time in this democracy, the president appointed the special advisor head. That special advisor head was also a new officer. So it is clear that you have told given an entitlement mentality, and they contend with other people on the basis of that. I go to meetings. I am a past president of African Society of Nigeria. Board meetings, and people will write the names, including. I'm not accusing the comrade Amos directly. They will write names, and they will write the name of a grade level 10 doctor before they write my name. So I had to ask questions. Is it part of PSR that you must list medical doctors? No, I had to ask. You know, these things, with one of my children. Oh yes. So, and that's why I said so. So that we don't continue government has pushed us to the point we will need to define a few things how we lawfully from the leadership of those hospitals. Let it take 20 years in court. Let us start that process. Whether it is right, let us go and challenge in court. Whether it is right within the purview of laws in Nigeria to make a doctor permanent the head of that.
He's going to court, is not the best.
We will, sir. We don't have any choice. Let's test the law. We lose nothing. And rather than take laws into your hands, the courts are there for some interventions. So that these people can know they are not supermen that government has protected them.
Calling somebody foreman is just, they are just deceiving. How can one person be foreman? It's not possible for one person to say to be foreman.
How can you continue to truncate the destiny of the people? Look at this, sir. I'm telling you, the foreman and God, this finance minister says, how do we structure this place? We are going to that point. And then within 24 hours, everything changed again. Then the next time you have another, you are talking of job evaluation. What job are we evaluating?
Okay, sir, I want to remind you the suggestion of pharmacist. You know, you gave a very good suggestion.
Oh, very good suggestion, yes. I had you.
Either we go to 2000, either we go to, all of us go to 2009, or all of us come to 2014, then you now do your job evaluation. It's just true and very simple. Thank you very much.
No, I'm the one to thank you for honoring my invitation.
No, thank you.
I never thought that this meeting will end like this. I was thinking it's going to be very robust.
It is robust.
Huh?
It is robust, just the outcome.
Well, I'm not gone any far. I'm not gone any far. No.
Great suggestions.
I believe by the time you go, I know what you are going to report.
No.
And it's going to be the same thing.
No, Honorable Minister. Sir.
And,
I can assure you, sir.
I always
Who is biased in our reporters?
I always remind people, just because people are fighting with you, don't forget about your patients. Your patients are always there waiting for you. And you have a responsibility. Well, you know what I'm talking about. You are Nigerians and you have the love of Nigerians, the entire country in your hearts. So please don't forget about this small fraction of patients who are there scattered over the generation, suffering because of this strike.
Government itself is not taking of those patients.
Yeah?
Government itself is not taking of those patients.
No,
You need to have an independent assessment of the intensity of that strike when
I am
now
part of
or
this
strike
government.
and what is on
I'm part
ground.
of this government, and you hear me talking to you about this. We are concerned. We are concerned.
It's not important enough to It's not. It's not important enough to the president of Nigeria.
No.
I have never seen a country that allows a total collapse of its federal hospital facilities. 73.
The address social welfare to them. They should remove that social welfare. They should remove that. What is social
The
welfare?
only thing that is paramount to government, and that's what government has stressed. The only thing that is paramount to government is the interest of the NNA. The physician ministers in that ministry, they are worse than chieftains of NNA. They don't even disguise it.
You see, we
They are not
know,
diplomatic enough to even handle and disguise it.